It's 6:18 a.m. on a Tuesday morning and your alarm erupts from the cheap phone charging on the nightstand. You don't wake up refreshed, you wake up calculating. You calculate how much is left in your checking account. You calculate how much the electric bill is going to be. You calculate how much fuel will cost this week. You calculate how many days remain until payday. The numbers never work. You roll out of bed in the small apartment you've rented for the last 4 years. The carpet is worn thin, the kitchen faucet leaks, and the bedroom window doesn't seal properly during winter. The apartment was supposed to be temporary. Now it has become your life. Your wife is already awake. She's sitting on the couch with one hand resting on her stomach, 7 months pregnant. She's a stay-at-home wife because childcare would cost more than she could realistically earn working nearby jobs. Every month she watches you leave for work carrying the entire financial burden of the household. You can see the stress in her face. There are unopened bills stacked on the coffee table. Medical bills, insurance bills, credit card bills, and now new expenses connected to a baby that hasn't even arrived yet. You pour yourself coffee and notice there's barely enough left for one cup. You make a mental note to buy more before remembering payday isn't until Friday. Your wife notices your expression and asks if everything is okay. You smile the same fake smile you've mastered over the years and tell her you're fine. Both of you know you're lying. You leave for work just after 7. The fuel warning light is on again. The car rattles whenever you accelerate, and every unusual noise feels like a financial emergency waiting to happen. One major repair would destroy you. One unexpected medical issue would destroy you. One missed paycheck would destroy you. Most people imagine financial struggle as dramatic, but it isn't. It's exhausting. It's checking your banking app before buying lunch. It's wondering whether your debit card will be declined at the grocery store. It's spending years trapped in a constant state of quiet anxiety. By lunchtime, you're sitting alone in the break room scrolling through your phone when a news article catches your attention. $500 million. The headline fills your screen. The $500 million international lottery jackpot remains unclaimed. The winning ticket was sold nearly 2 weeks ago. You barely register it. People win lotteries, other people, not you. Then something clicks. You remember buying a ticket. You remember because it was the last $5 in your wallet. You remember because your wife jokingly told you maybe the baby would bring good luck. You open your banking app first, $36. Then you open your wallet. The ticket is still there, folded between old receipts, forgotten, crumpled. You stare at it. Your heart starts beating faster. Not because you think you've won, but because curiosity gets the better of you. You pull up the numbers online. The first number matches. You pause. The second matches. The third, the fourth, the fifth. By now your hands are shaking. The sixth number matches too. Then the jackpot number. Exact match, every single number. You stare at the screen, then the ticket, then the screen again. For nearly 30 seconds, your brain refuses to process what you're seeing. $500 million. You check again, then again, then again. Still a match. Through your family heritage, you're a dual citizen and already understand the laws involved. The next morning, you call in sick. For once, you're telling the truth. You feel physically ill. Not from fear, but from shock. The Lottery Commission arranges a private meeting. The building is quiet, expensive, and filled with people who manage wealth on a scale you've never imagined. To them, you're simply another winner. To you, this is the most important day of your life. Lawyers arrive, wealth managers arrive, private bankers arrive. Everyone speaks calmly, nobody celebrates. The people who handle enormous fortunes understand something most people don't. Money is emotional. Wealth is procedural. Documents are signed. Trusts are established. Privacy measures are discussed. Security arrangements are recommended. You understand maybe half of what is being explained. 3 days later, the funds clear. You open a secure banking portal and stare at the balance, $500 million. The number doesn't feel real. For the first time in your life, survival is no longer your primary concern. You try returning to work. You really do. For almost 3 weeks, you sit through meetings, answer emails, and listen to managers discuss quarterly targets. Someone argues over budget projections. Someone else complains about software updates. You sit there knowing you could buy the entire company outright if you wanted to. The illusion is broken. Eventually, you resign. Your manager acts disappointed, but you can tell he's mostly concerned about replacing you. Strangely, you don't feel excited. You feel detached, like you've already left. Because mentally you have. The hardest conversation comes when you get home. You can't simply walk through the front door and announce that you're worth $500 million. You sit beside your wife on the couch and tell her you've had an investment payoff in a way neither of you expected. You show her a secondary account containing $10 million. Her eyes widen. She stares at the screen, then at you, then back at the screen again. Then she starts crying. Not because she's impressed, because she's exhausted. Years of financial pressure suddenly disappear in a single moment. Years of worrying about rent, groceries, fuel, and now a baby on the way are gone. She hugs you tightly. For a brief moment before wealth changes everything, the embrace feels completely genuine. The spending begins slowly. First, every debt disappears. Credit cards, medical bills, loans, collections, everything. Then you move into a gated estate so large that guests occasionally get lost inside it. You buy your wife the luxury SUV she's admired online for years. You buy yourself the sports car you used to watch reviews of late at night when sleep wouldn't come. You tell yourself you'll stay grounded. Everyone says that. Almost nobody does. A few months later, your son is born. Holding him in the hospital room is the first time you've cried since winning the lottery. Not because of the money, because of him. Tiny, fragile, perfect. The years pass quickly. Your son never experiences financial stress. He attends the best private schools. He has tutors, mentors, opportunities, and experiences that are normally reserved for children born into generational wealth. 3 years later, your daughter arrives. A few years after that, another son. The house becomes loud, busy, and full of life. For all the things money can buy, the sound of your children laughing through the hallways remains one of the few things that still feels priceless. Your wife embraces wealth completely. Designer handbags, luxury jewelry, personal trainers, exclusive memberships. You don't blame her. She spent years staring at social media accounts showcasing lives she could never afford. Now she's living one. You enjoy it too. You fly first class and eventually private. You stay in penthouse suites larger than your first apartment. Summers are spent in Europe. Winters are spent on tropical islands. You charter yachts, rent villas, celebrate anniversaries overlooking oceans and city skylines. Everywhere you go, staff remember your names. Reservations appear instantly. Problems disappear before you even notice them. One of the strangest lessons wealth teaches you is that the world becomes remarkably easy when enough money is involved. But while life grows larger, something else begins shrinking. Your marriage, not dramatically, not through screaming arguments or betrayal, quietly. The financial pressure that once forced you and your wife to operate as a team is gone. Beneath that pressure, you slowly discover how little remains. You still travel together. You still attend events together. You still appear in family photos together. To everyone else, you look like the perfect family. Wealthy, successful, happy. But appearances are deceptive. Conversations become logistical. School decisions, travel arrangements, household management, investments, schedules. The relationship slowly becomes a business partnership. You love your children deeply. You care about your wife. But somewhere along the way, romance quietly disappears. Neither of you talks about it because neither of you wants to admit it. The children are holding the marriage together. Not anger, not resentment, just responsibility. One afternoon, nearly a decade after the lottery win, you meet your childhood best friend. You invite him to lunch. He spends an hour talking about work, bills, mortgage payments, and stress, the same struggles you once lived every day. At the end of the meal, you slide a folder across the table. Inside is a cashier's check for $5 million. His hands freeze. Then you show him documents proving his mortgage has been paid off. His children's future education is fully funded. Investment accounts have been established. Financial security has been guaranteed. He stares at the paperwork in complete disbelief before breaking down in tears. Somehow helping him feels better than buying anything you've ever purchased for yourself. The years continue passing. Your children grow into successful young adults. They attend elite schools, graduate from prestigious universities, and enter the world with every possible advantage. You never miss a graduation. You never miss a major milestone. Unlike your own father, work never takes you away from your family. Eventually, the children leave home. The estate becomes quiet again. One evening, you're sitting outside watching the sunset when your wife joins you. Neither of you speaks for several minutes. You realize you've spent nearly 2 decades together since winning the lottery. You've traveled the world, raised children, bought homes, experienced luxuries most people only dream about. Yet your relationship now feels more like a partnership than a marriage. Two people managing a shared enterprise. You don't hate each other, far from it. You trust each other. You respect each other. You're simply no longer in love. Perhaps you haven't been for years. The children are grown now, yet neither of you leaves. Maybe because you're comfortable. Maybe because your lives are too intertwined. Maybe because after enough years, familiarity becomes its own form of love. Late one night, you walk alone through the estate, past the theater room, past the wine cellar, past the garage filled with cars you once dreamed about owning. You stop and think. Money changed everything. It removed fear, it removed debt, it removed limitations. It gave your children opportunities you never had. It allowed you to take care of people you loved, but it changed relationships too. Some became stronger, some became weaker, some transformed into entirely different things. Money didn't simply reveal who people were, it changed who they became, including you. You stand looking out across the property. The world is silent. No debt collectors, no overdue notices, no panic, no fear. You think back to that Tuesday morning, the leaking faucet, the nearly empty bank account, the pregnant wife worrying about bills, the old car, the stress, the exhaustion. That version of you would trade places instantly. And despite everything you've learned, you probably would too, because money cannot buy happiness, but it can buy freedom. And freedom changes the course of an entire life. You smile, a quiet smile. Not because everything turned out perfectly, it didn't. Not because money solved every problem, it didn't. But because one forgotten lottery ticket transformed the story of your family forever, for better and for worse. And sometimes that's what $500 million really buys. Not a perfect life, just a completely different one.